Hello friends, welcome to Turn a Stone Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me here today. For today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what is healing in your life. So at the time that I'm recording this video, and this is a timeless video, so whenever you're watching it, it's applicable. But if you are watching it in the current time, you may be interested to know that this is a very powerful time for healing. There are some very strong healing energies available to us at the current time, healing perhaps old issues that may have been with us for a very long time, healing perhaps some very stubborn blocks, things that we've had difficulty moving through in the past. There are some very strong energies for helping us to make great leaps, great strides in healing at this time, perhaps on a time frame that is quite remarkable. So I'm looking forward to sharing these readings here with you today. Just a note before we begin, if you would like a personal reading with me, I do have just a few spots available at the current time. So please click the link down below for book a personal reading if you're interested in having a personal reading with me. And let's get started. So pile one is here. It's the flexible card, and the number on that card is 19. Pile 2 is the co-create card, and the number on that card is 40. And pile 3 is the thinker card, and the number on that card is 44. Please select whichever card you feel most drawn to. Timestamps are in the description box below. Click ahead to your group, and I will see you in your chosen reading. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. This is your message about what you are healing. So the cards that I've drawn for you are really telling me quite a clear story, and I'd like to begin by looking at the card that you chose in the intro. And there's a little surprise because you were the only group to receive 2 of these cards, so your spirit team wanted to share 2 cards with you, and they're very good cards indeed. You chose the flexible card, but with the flexible card came the Treasure Island card. So these are beautiful cards. The flexible card talks about being adaptable, adapting to circumstances, maybe changing things when you need to, as I said, adapting to circumstances. And you've got the Treasure Island card, which is about getting the fulfillment of your desires. And often, when I see it, especially with the flexible card, this can be getting something even better than what you imagined. So maybe you were hoping for a very specific thing. And with the Treasure Island card, I see you getting that wish fulfilled, but perhaps in a way that you weren't expecting. Perhaps it's in a way that's even better than what you had imagined. So these are really beautiful cards. So I think your healing journey is really bringing in something new, some new positive change in your life that's really going to up-level you in some kind of a way. It's really going to be wishes fulfilled for you, and I think it could be a little surprising as well. It might not be in the form you exactly expected, but it might be even better than you expected. So I did want to read to you from the book for these cards, so you get a kind of clearer picture of the message that these cards are bringing you. So we'll start with number 19, the flexible card. This card talks about teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. And the message of this card is, a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure, like a building, would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now, willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. I'm also going to read you the prosperity message with this card. That is the message that was calling to me. Even when you have a clear vision of how you're going to manifest something, what it will look like, who will share in it, and what will then be available to, you still need to relax and open up to other possibilities. Spirit may have much better plans for you. It could be a job you hadn't thought of, a new source of money, or some other opportunity that eluded your imagination. Be flexible and remind yourself this or something better manifests for me now. Then be willing to bend a little and enjoy the miraculous results. So beautiful message there with the flexible card. So again, kind of talking about that idea of something perhaps even better than you imagined coming into being for you. And then I'm also going to read you the Treasure Island card. It says, the law of attraction bringing dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing as if from nowhere, financial gains, and the sharing of good fortune. The message of this card: you've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You have uncovered the map to buried treasure and tapped the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognize when X marks the spot, because some of those golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase where all the long, hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others, as treasure shared multiplies like magic. So beautiful cards showing abundance, whatever abundance means to you, whether that's emotional fulfillment, good relationships, um, money, prosperity in that sense, anything that you really classify as abundance is well indicated for you here in your first two cards. So when I drew your spread here, looking at kind of what is healing for you now, the message that I got from Spirit was your emotional world is going to be healing substantially. So maybe you're already seeing signs of this. But when I see this King of Cups as your first card, it's telling me that you're someone who may have experienced some emotional turmoil in the past. Perhaps you have been through a period where your emotions were very activated. Maybe they felt even very overwhelming for you. This could include things like just really feeling emotions very strongly, crying, kind of almost having emotional outbursts, even. And if you have been experiencing a phase where your emotions have been very intense and very overwhelming, I see this smoothing out for you in the period ahead. With some of the cards on the table, like the Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, some of you may truly have experienced some kind of trauma, and I think the trauma has perhaps led to this sense of maybe it's some kind of emotional volatility or just emotional overwhelm for some of you. And your spirit team is telling me that this is being balanced out for you. Perhaps you yourself are engaged in processes to kind of manage this emotional overwhelm. You may have tried new therapeutic methods, new practices. Whether those are, I'm thinking of things like meditation or yoga or journaling, those kinds of things. You've been working on practical steps to help to bring these emotions into balance, to kind of understand what you're feeling. And I see that they're having a very good result for you. Another message I heard when I looked at your cards was you may have been someone who felt that you had to work very hard to be loved, I'm hearing. Maybe this was something that stems from childhood. But when I see this flexible card and the figure kind of doing back bends, there's that expression, oh, I had to do back bends in order to achieve something. That's having to go above and beyond to try to get, just something basic or something that you're requesting. And the Knight of Pentacles is also a card of very hard work. So it shows me, I'm getting a message here about having to work hard in order to get your emotional needs met. So that may be resonating for some of you. Again, with some of the cards, I'm hearing that, some of this may be stemming from childhood. When we've got the Page of Pentacles in the spread here, this is often a card kind of representing our inner child. Some of you may benefit from doing inner child work at this time. It may help to strengthen your emotional healing at this time. Certainly getting in touch with your childhood desires, your childhood needs, whether those are emotional needs or even physical needs, or just needs for inspiration and joy and play and all of those kind of lighter sides of childhood that might be very helpful for you at this time. Spirit is showing me here. It's very interesting because you've got the Ace of Cups here, and she's holding a cup, and all of these wonderful butterflies are flying out of the cup. And there's a very similar image in this card of the treasure chest, and sort of all of these hearts and stars flying out of the chest. So I get the sense that you're really healing by being able to, I think, release some of these emotions or release some of these desires that you have by seeing them fulfilled. We can have a sense of freedom when we've been working towards something for a very long time, and to finally kind of see it coming into fruition for us can be very freeing in a sense. So the Ace of Cups and the Treasure Island cards, these are both very positive cards showing the fulfillment of something, some emotional needs perhaps that have gone unfulfilled are now going to be met for you, and this will allow you to heal. With the Five of Cups here, I'm seeing grief passing. So some of you may have been through a circumstance where a lot of grief was felt. Maybe there was some kind of a loss. And this, created a sense of sadness, emotional sadness within our being, that perhaps lingered quite a while within your being. I do see this sense of sadness kind of getting a little more manageable for you, healing from this sadness, being able to feel sort of lighter states of being here with the Ace of Cups, and the King of Cups too. The King of Cups is a very emotionally mature card. So I think through this experience, whatever this emotional experience has been for you, you have really gained some emotional maturity through it. The Knight of Pentacles is also showing me that you've worked very hard to get to this point of emotional maturity. This is something that you've really had to do quite a bit of work and introspection on. I did also ask your spirit team for advice, how you can assist the healing. And they showed me, it's interesting, the Nine of Swords in reverse and the Five of Pentacles. And I heard, watch out for the story. And what they mean by that is, there are those times in our life where mentally we can get kind of caught in our own life story. Perhaps you had something happen that was quite unfortunate. Perhaps there was a painful childhood or a difficult upbringing. And what can often happen is that we get caught in a repeating cycle, kind of replaying those stories, replaying things that happened to us in the past. And your spirit team is telling me that you've been working to kind of free yourself from the grip of this story about your life that you've been telling yourself. Or, it certainly can be true, but when we get caught repeating it, it can indicate that something's going on that may be holding us back. And so your spirit team is inviting you to just watch for those times when that story of lack or stories of feeling persecuted, or feeling wronged, when those repeating stories kind of come into your mind, they just want you to be aware of that. And then they want you to notice how you feel when you're thinking those thoughts. And just by noticing the correlation between the sort of verbal storyline that's going through your mind and then tying that to the emotional body, you're going to gain a deep understanding about kind of what has been happening for you. Regarding some of these more difficult emotions. So that was the advice that came through from your spirit team regarding how you can help this emotional healing process that you're undergoing. I did also draw for you from the manifestation oracle cards as well, and so we have some additional messages there. And the first card that came out says, "Talk less, feel more." Last quarter moon in Pisces. Talk less, feel more. So you may indeed be somebody who, again, kind of goes into your head rather than your feelings. This can be quite common, especially if we've had some wounding around our emotional life. We can start to get very analytical about it, very verbal and mental about it, and not really want to feel what's going on. So your spirit team is encouraging you to, again, notice when you start to mentalize things, and to maybe shift your focus into your emotional body, what emotions are happening for you, even what physical sensations are happening for you. And that's going to help you process this emotional healing even more deeply. This card reminds me of something I once heard from, if you're familiar with Pema Chodron, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly, Pema Chodron. She's a very famous Buddhist teacher, and she used to have this little saying that I loved. It was, drop the story, feel the feelings. Drop the story, feel the feelings. So when you find yourself, telling yourself that story about what happened to you, or what how your life has gone, maybe stop the words and just drop into, what are you emotionally feeling? What are you physically feeling? So drop the story, feel the feelings. That is the advice of Pema Chodron, and I have used it, and I really love to remind myself of that sometimes. So I hope it is helpful for you as well. We also have full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. Again, so with full moon in Scorpio, I mean, this is a very intense emotional experience here that this is discussing. So again, I think you're somebody who's experienced some very difficult emotions, and that is in the process of healing for you now. So please rest assured that things are getting better on that front. And some of the advice that they have for you is to breathe through the tension. Notice where you're contracting, notice where you might be holding tension in your body if you're having a certain emotional experience. And if you can kind of breathe into it, soften with it a little bit, that can help you kind of bodily process some of those sensations that you're having. We also have a few cards for you this is from the Whispering Woods deck. And the cards that came out for you, it's very interesting because there's a little bit of a theme going on here. We have the Grounded card. It says, keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. Keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. So there were some messages here. We even have the Knight of Pentacles, which often makes me think of land, cultivating the land. Maybe that means something to you. Is there something about your land, the land that you grew up on, the land that you live on, maybe working the land, because you have this message about the ground, the roots, kind of remembering them, and soaring. You can ascend from this place where you started. I think is a big message of that card. We also have, very similarly for you, the Origins card. It says, remember your roots, remember your roots. So a lot about roots here, that word roots coming in twice. And I think even one of these cards, the flexible card, mentioned, the tree having strong roots and being able to sway in the wind. So I think somebody out there has a real message around roots. Whether that be, literal roots of trees and plants and things, or figurative roots, in other words, your family line, your ancestry, and so forth. And then finally, you've got the Hope card, and it says, an idea like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. An idea like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. And it's interesting too that you got the Hope card, because I always think of this Page of Pentacles card, which came out as one of your advice cards from Spirit, as being a very hopeful card. You know, this is a very hopeful energy. It's looking to the future. Interestingly enough, it's got a little watering can there, so more of that, you know, what you want to grow in your life kind of idea coming through this card as well. But one of the advice that Spirit would like you to take from this reading is to have hope for the future. You know that these emotional issues that you have perhaps been working through for a very long time, things are getting better for you on the emotional front. You are growing, you are learning, you are beginning to master your emotional world. There's some really beautiful manifestations about to come in for you. I think you're going to see the results of those rather soon. So really beautiful reading, my pile one. And, remember, have hope for a bright future. Things are changing. You are growing. You have successfully, managed to grow through some of these difficult experiences, I think, that you've had. And things are very much looking up for you. So that is the reading that I have for you, my pile ones. If you'd like a personal reading with me, feel free to check out in the description box. There's a link where you can book a personal reading if you're interested in that. If you liked this reading, please click that like button, and I'd appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel. It does help my channel to grow here on YouTube, so thank you for that. And with that, I wish you a beautiful day full of light, love, and boundless blessings. And I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. This is your message about what is healing for you now. So the card that you were drawn to in the intro is the Co-Create card, and the number on this card is 40. That may mean something to you. This card is all about inspiration, manifesting, kind of working with the greater forces of the universe to create things in the material world. It's interesting. I was curious that this card has, I believe that's a cheetah. And it's just standing still. You know, this is one of the fastest animals on Earth, but it's just kind of waiting, looking out. It's very calm. You know, we also have this beautiful owl on here, which can represent, wisdom and insight, but it's also at a very sort of calm place. So with this card, I get an energy of contemplation, of thinking things over. Maybe you're currently kind of working on your manifestations at the present time, thinking them over. You did also receive the Two of Swords card, which is a card of thinking things over. So you may be doing a lot of thinking at the present time. But your cards are telling me a very specific story about perhaps what you may be thinking of. And I think it's regarding perhaps your work life, perhaps how you create resources and material abundance in your world, how you manifest what you need in this world for perhaps yourself and others. There's a lot about what's healing now is your mindset around creating abundance. You may be healing through some family patterns related to abundance and the things that you need to do in order to perhaps survive in the world or make your way in the world. I do see you healing patterns that have perhaps been in your family for generations regarding this. So to begin, let's read you the definition from the book for this Co-Create card, because I think it may be very helpful for some of you listening. And it says, co-create, the essential meanings are creativity, art, inspiration, fruition, and manifestation. The message of this card: you may not consider yourself a creative person, but in fact you are creating your reality every moment of every day via your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, intentions, and actions. Yet you must consider that you do so in partnership with spirit, consciousness, or whatever name you call your higher power. You are a spark of this intelligence that works through you, nudging you with inspired thought and intuitive guidance. You are a paintbrush that co-creates a beautiful, unique expression of your own individuality blended with universal spirit. You are a product of divine inspiration, and now you're aligned with it to create miracles. When you view your life as art and know you co created, only beauty and grace result. Prepare to be amazed. I'm also being called to read you the prosperity message for this card. It says, flashes of inspiration give rise to great success when you receive this message. You are at your most creative now, and whatever you apply yourself to will lead to the fruition of your dreams. Remember that all your ideas are channeled from a higher source. You create your reality in partnership with Spirit. The potential for manifestation is unlimited now. Revel in its vastness. So, beautiful card to get. It really shows that you're at a highly creative period. I think you're healing perhaps some of these old patterns of, for some of you, it may be a sense of lack, a sense that abundance has to look a certain way or has to give a certain appearance in the external world, or even healing a certain pattern around the difficulty of abundance. I'm hearing for some of you. Some of you may have inherited ideas about money being scarce or financial resources being very difficult to come by, or living an abundant life being perhaps impossible for people in your family, maybe those sort of unconscious beliefs that we can often adopt as we grow up, perhaps steeped in these kinds of mindsets. So I think you're waking up to this at this time. You're beginning to understand that this is simply a pattern that has been passed down. You have perhaps taken on some of these beliefs unconsciously. I think you're gaining awareness about the unconscious nature of some of these beliefs and how they may have resulted in you making certain decisions in your life. And you're looking at flipping the script here with the cards that are coming out on the table for you. So, some of the things I'm noticing in your cards here, when I asked Spirit about what you are healing, the first card out was the Ace of Swords. So, this really shows me that you're getting some insight about these family patterns. You're really kind of slicing through, I think, some of the ways that these patterns have kept perhaps you yourself stuck in a certain mode of living or a certain way of viewing material resources. And you're able to really kind of unlock a new way of looking at material abundance here on the earthly plane. When I see the Ten of Pentacles, for me, this is the card of legacy, things that we have inherited, the way that things have always been done. This is also the card of abundance. So this really shows me that what's healing for you now does include ideas of abundance. What is abundance? What does it look like? How can you achieve it? What can you do to go about creating abundance for yourself? So, your entire definition of what it means to be abundant and how you can create this abundance is being healed and shifted and transformed at this time. When I see the Six of Swords card, this is the card of things getting better, improvement. I'm really noticing this anchor here. So I feel like you're able to kind of lift off in a way that perhaps other people in your family have not been able to lift off. You're untethering yourself from some of the beliefs that I think have kept people in your family group or even your community group stuck for a while. So I see some really beautiful shifts for you. I am seeing a lot of swords cards here. We've got Ace of Swords, Six of Swords, Two of Swords. So that does tell me there's something about mindset happening for you, that you're really understanding how your mindset plays into what you're able to create in the material realm. So you're gaining new understanding about that. You're really kind of forging new terrain, I think. You may be feeling quite contemplative at the time that you come across this reading. I did mention, how the characters in this card seem to be sort of a bit stationary, thinking things over. You've got this Two of Swords card. So you may be kind of hatching perhaps a new business idea at this time, perhaps examining how you want to live your life. For some of you, I heard exiting the matrix. So maybe you want to live in a completely new way. For some people, abundance isn't about financial resources in the bank. For some people, abundance looks like vegetables in the garden. Abundance looks like wood in the woodshed. Abundance looks like being able to spend time with our friends, family, and beloved animals in our life, being able to spend time in nature. That is, their view of abundance. So abundance can look a lot of ways, and I think you perhaps have inherited a certain way of how it should look and how it should go. Maybe it was involved getting a degree of some kind, gaining status, and maybe that doesn't fit for you, and perhaps that's something that you're mulling over. Obviously, there are different people watching this reading, so this will apply differently to everyone. Certainly if you're someone who does have academic ambitions and that is in alignment for you, please go with that. I don't want to dissuade anyone from any academic dreams, but, this is the kind of shift that we're talking about. If abundance has been presented you as looking a certain way, being a certain way, requiring a certain set of achievements, I think you have come in as the pattern breaker, somebody who follows your own true north rather than the established or family accepted view of what abundance should be, how it should look, because perhaps you're realizing that that actually doesn't feel right for you personally. You also receive the Five of Wands card and the Knight of Pentacles card, and these are coming out in the advice position, as well as the Page of Pentacles. So when I see these cards with the Five of Wands cards, what I heard was, understand that perhaps the people who have passed on these limited mindsets about abundance understand that they were products of their time. Here, I'm just noticing we've got people who look like they come from different periods in history on the board here. And I'm seeing this figure as kind of reducing them down to more static figures, almost toys, even. Uh, Items on a chessboard, that kind of thing. So, just sort of understanding that they're a bit rigid. There's not a lot of flexibility going on here with these characters. Understand that maybe the sense of lack of abundance that they passed down to you, they were products of their time. Maybe at the time they were coming up, things were scarce, and they developed this relationship to material abundance out of a feeling of a sense of scarcity. And maybe that was very true for a lot of people in their time periods. That doesn't mean that you have to continue to carry it on. You can kind of think of them as being, relics of the past, or products of their age, products of their time. But you're here to kind of rearrange things and perhaps do things differently with that Five of Wands card. Also, with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse here, I was curious about what the message here was. And what I was getting from Spirit is a message about time. You may have developed the belief that it takes a long time to gain abundance, that it's a slow process, that you really have to work hard over years and years and years to see abundance. And while that can be true for some people, and that can be the reality for some, Spirit wants you to understand that, time is just one of the elements that you're working with in this co-creation, that it is actually possible to kind of speed up the process of manifestation, to speed up the process of abundance. It doesn't have to be something that takes a very long time. It can, it can be just time can be a form that you play with in terms of creating your abundance. So, maybe it's creating it much more quickly than you expected, or being able to have something that you desire on a much faster timeline, perhaps, than members of your family have been able to achieve. So, interesting message about time there. That's not one I have seen come through before. You also receive the Page of Pentacles. So there might be some held beliefs about enjoyment of creating abundance. Again, when I see this Knight of Pentacles in reverse, you may have come up with beliefs that creating abundance, perhaps if it's like financial or material abundance, it takes a lot of hard work, it's not very fun. You're going to really have to keep your head down and work hard and be serious. The Page of Pentacles is encouraging you to do quite the opposite. Have fun with it. Have fun with creating abundance. Use your lightness, your joy, your enthusiasm to create the abundance. Maybe set yourself a challenge like, oh, what would be a fun way that I could, for example, make money? Or, what would be a fun project that would create abundance for me? Maybe it's planting a garden, and then I would have this abundance of fruit and vegetables, and that would feel really great. Working sort of with the element of fun, enthusiasm, having a much more sort of childlike approach. I know for some of us, we sort of have this drummed out of us in our early years, especially if you've been in a family system where there has been a lack mentality. We can lose our sense of joy around creating abundance and following our inspiration. And Spirit is very much encouraging you to heal through sort of returning to that childlike sense of inspiration, fun, experimentation, looking at creating abundance in a whole new and much lighter, much more childlike, even carefree kind of way. I did also draw some additional cards for you, pile 2, regarding this theme, and this is from the Moonology Manifestation deck. And it says, first quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. And I was really hearing that this insecurity has a lot to do with financial insecurity, insecurity around, again, material resources. This could be housing insecurity, food insecurity, financial resource insecurity, whatever your insecurity is. I think Spirit is really inviting you to look at your relationship with this at this time. This is something that Spirit is calling you to heal in this moment so that you can experience a much more abundant life and experience it in a way I think that is much more fulfilling to your soul and to your spirit. I also drew for you from the Green Witch Oracle deck, and I have to tell you, this deck lately has been very, uh, oh, the word I wanted to use was persnickety. Like, she doesn't just come out for everybody. So the fact that you were blessed with a Green Witch card really says something. It means she really wants you to know this. And she's showing me the Earthworm card, and it says clarity and rumination. So again, I get this sense of you really thinking things over. Maybe you'll be really thinking over what I've said in this video, or maybe this topic of abundance and how you can sort of create your material world. Maybe that's something that you've really been thinking over, but I think you're really digesting it here in a new way. You're getting clarity on something I think that has eluded many generations before you. So you're really understanding kind of how things work. You're really able to change your mindset here around creating abundance. You're getting some clarity on how to do that. And that's all happening through this sort of deep gestation process. And of course, I can't help but notice all of the gardening themes we have here. We've got, the earthworms, which are a gardener's best friend. You've got the Page of Pentacles here, which has a little watering can. So I really do. We've even got the Knight of Pentacles, which I often think of as, the farming card almost in the tarot. So there's a lot of references here to gardening, growing, farming, even, yeah, working the earth. That may be very applicable for some of you. And then finally, to close out your reading, I've got a couple cards from the Whispering Woods Oracle deck, just for some additional wisdom from your spirit team. And of course, not surprising, we have the word grounded. And it says, keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. Keep to your roots and stand taller to the trees. So again, another reference to earth, ground, soil even. But this one is really interesting because, we talked about your roots, your family line, maybe having grown up in a family line that has experienced some scarcity in the past. But it says, stand taller than the trees. So I think you can take these experiences that your family has had, these mindsets that they have perhaps unconsciously adopted, and you can ascend from there. You can be the one who breaks the family pattern, breaks the family cycle, sees things differently, and begin to heal some of these generational patterns, my pile twos. We also have the word teach, which I think is beautiful. It says, inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. Inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. And we had the co-create card talk about inspiration, you taking inspiration and manifesting from a place of inspiration. Some of you may also feel called to be teachers in this area. Maybe you're teaching others about abundance, your method of abundance, whether it's, financial planning, investing perhaps, maybe even like gardening or permaculture, something to that effect. Something about teaching may be very important for you, so take that as you will. That will apply differently to those of you watching, but you are being encouraged to perhaps teach your revelations here as you break this family pattern. I think it also could be a nod to things that you have learned, perhaps subconscious things that you have learned from your family line around abundance and creating abundance. Again, I get a lot of messages about you're the one to break the pattern here, do things differently, see through some illusions perhaps that have that have persisted for a long period of time, and do things differently and really experience the world in a much fresher, more abundant way, and in a way that really feeds your soul. So that is the message that I have for you, my pile twos. I hope this has benefited your life in some way. If this reading did resonate with you, please comment down below. Let me know how it fits for you in particular, if you're willing to share. I also invite you to like the video. It helps to spread it far and wide, so thank you for doing that. I welcome any new subscriptions, so if you'd like to subscribe to the channel and get notified of my new videos, thank you for doing that. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the link for that is in the description box. And with that, I will say goodbye. I wish you a beautiful day full of light, love, and boundless blessings, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. This is your message about what you are healing. So the card that you were drawn to in the introduction is the Thinker card, and the number on this card is 44. I often associate the number 44 with the angelic realm, so maybe you have a special connection to angels perhaps, or the number 44 could be meaningful to you in some other way. But this card, the messages I got initially around this card were overthinking. Maybe have you been struggling with overthinking something in your life? This angel, or fairy rather, does look a little, deep in thought. She looks very serious, perhaps even a little bit sad. And then with the Four of Cups showing in your reading as well, maybe you have been feeling a little sad or a little down in some way. That's very possible too. And this is very much related to what you are healing at the present time. So the first card out for you was the Empress card, and that's a number 3 in your pile 3. So I felt some significance there. But with this card, this often talks about our nurturing nature, our abundant nature, when we're really feeling ourselves. I think the Empress energy is kind of with us there. And it's showing me the Eight of Wands as well, the sense of soaring, the sense of perhaps communicating, getting somewhere, being effective. So, what I'm getting with what you're healing is perhaps around self expression. I feel that there may have been some energy that you've not been able to successfully. Express in some way, the cards are telling me. Perhaps you have been in an environment where this sort of element of who you are has been not accepted, frowned upon. I heard wings clipped, if you're familiar with, the clipping of the wings, so birds can't quite fly as high as they would. All of those kinds of thoughts were coming in as I was laying out your cards. Um, so I think this is very much what is currently healing in your life. I think because you've not been able to express like some of these fuller, um, I see with the sun card here, I see a sense of you really shining. Maybe you're somebody who even loves fashion and loves beauty. Regardless of what gender you are, perhaps I'm even with this um, collection of cards I'm getting, maybe you felt like you couldn't express perhaps the more feminine aspects of your nature, perhaps because of gender or expectations around gender. That's a possibility with the cards I'm seeing here. For some of you as well, and this won't apply to everyone, but I very much heard mother wound. The Empress can often be associated with the mother, but perhaps you grew up with a mother who wasn't very approving of you really being, fully expressive of yourself, of maybe your fashion sense, of maybe your um, ebullient personality, your shining personality. Maybe she didn't like your sense of humor. Um, these kinds of, this kind of idea of a parent that sort of clips our wings a little bit, dampens our enthusiasm, dampens our expression of ourself. And this may have caused you to go into your head a bit with the thinker card coming out. Often, especially if we're children and we can't fully express our natures and who we are and how we're feeling and just experiencing the world and experiencing our own energy, if we can't sort of let that out in a free flowing way, if that gets frowned upon, if that leads to rejection in some way, we can often go into our heads as a means of trying to stay in control of the situation, try to understand why this part of ourselves is being rejected, we want to avoid any painful experiences that we may have had around expressing our individuality, expressing our deeper natures, maybe our kind of soul natures. So we can become quite analytical, quite mental. A lot of mental activity can start to occur over that. And another phenomenon that can happen, and this may relate to some of you watching this video, is a kind of depression can develop when we're not allowed to express who we truly are, what we truly feel drawn to, how we truly, want to be in the world. This can lead to feelings of, depression, perhaps if we haven't been allowed to be ourselves in some way. That can lead to kind of a pervasive sense of sadness, I think. But rest assured, my pile threes, this phenomena is what is healing for you now. If you have not been able to shine, if you've not been able to soar, for whatever reason, whether it be upbringing, environment, even a friend group that doesn't support you, whatever the case may be. I do see things getting better for you. If you have been suffering from depression in some way, the cards on the table here are telling me that your spirit team is very much working with you now to help to improve this for you so that you can start to feel better and begin to express more of your true authenticity as you move forward in life. Some interesting synchronicities going on in your card. We've got a lot of wings going on. The Thinker card has wings here. Even the Four of Cups, we've got this bird here, another bird here. So there seems to be a lot about flight happening, and I was getting that expression, being able to soar. So, I really think you have the potential to be very successful being your authentic self, being your truly fully expressive self. There's a real sense that you have the potential to soar. With some of these cards, it's suggesting that you may have been around a person or people or a group who, perhaps felt threatened in some way by perhaps the power that you had, or they saw the potential in you and it made them feel bad about themselves, perhaps in some way. And so, you've been perhaps treated in a way to actually feel small and not feel able to soar, when that is, completely the opposite of the truth of the situation here with the Empress and the Sun. These are very bright, powerful cards, major arcana cards. There's a lot of depth here, a lot of brightness, a lot of expression, a lot of authenticity. I think that you're just waiting to step into here with the spread. So interesting. When I asked Spirit for advice about how you can assist with your healing at this time, they showed me the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, and then kind of put in the Justice card as well. And we'll get to that in a moment. But I want you to notice something here. With the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, it sort of looks like a horse and rider situation on both of these cards. Well, this is literally a horse and rider. This is instead of a horse, it's a bird here. So again, that idea of soaring. But the Six of Wands is very much a card about success. The Knight of Pentacles is also about success and really harvesting, the results of something. So I do think you will be successful in overcoming perhaps whatever low mood or self-doubt that you may have been experiencing. You do have the potential to overcome this. It could be a kind of a gradual step-by-step process here, but I believe success is assured for you. And I was hearing the word trust as I pulled your cards. It came right away as I pulled your Thinker card. And there is the element of trust in both of these cards. You sort of have to trust the horse that you're riding, or in this case, the bird that you're riding. So this could be self-trust. You may need to develop some self-trust here. Perhaps that there have been naysayers or discouragers in your life who have, caused a degree of self-doubt to occur, have caused a lack of self trust to happen. Often, if we're, kind of told, oh, we can't really do something, or that wasn't very good, or you shouldn't do that, that's wrong, we can start to develop a lack of trust in ourselves. Well, this just comes naturally for me to do this. So is there something wrong with me, or am I not enough? Those kinds of thoughts can start to occur. So this is showing me that you will be developing a better relationship with yourself. That is what is healing with you at this present time. You will be trusting yourself more and more. You will see how you can express yourself more authentically and be met by both yourself and the people around you with a greater degree of encouragement and positivity, and so that you can begin to trust your own impulses to act in the world. You are right to be your authentic self. You are right to express, these wonderful qualities that you have. And, you can begin to gradually heal from perhaps an experience where those qualities were not supported. You do also have the Justice card here. And again, this sense of soaring, she's kind of soaring above the building. So I think there's some really beautiful success for you. Maybe some of you are even in show business in some way. I see almost some flamboyance here with the Sun and the Empress cards together. Just I was hearing like fashion, style, maybe even the performing arts, singing, performing in some way. You're really meant to stand out here, especially with the Sun card here. And then when I see it with the Empress, stand out in really quite a wonderful way. So I do see you gaining ground with this. You've got the gold here, which suggests to me some kind of golden outcome, golden future for you. Things being balanced out as well. If you have suffered some hurt or pain relative to expressing yourself, I see Spirit working with you and working with the universe to balance that out so it is fair for you. Sometimes these things, as painful as they are to go through, when people sort of deny us our authenticity, that can actually help us to really focus in on our authenticity so that we really know who we are, and we become stronger in that way. And then when we do begin to feel safer to express it in the world, we're that much more anchored in that authenticity. This card, too, for me, I may have mentioned also the card of divine intervention, divine justice, things being worked out, the universe, really having our back regarding something. So I see success for you here with the Six of Wands and the Justice card, my pile threes. With the Knight of Pentacles, do be patient with it. I mean, you may have really, especially if this is some kind of wound, that goes back to a parenting style or parenting behavior. Some of these can be very deep seated and they're not so easy to lift. But I'm hearing, as I said, perhaps earlier, the better it gets, the better it gets. So you will slowly and surely over time feel more and more and more improvement around being able to express your authentic nature, your authentic self, your authentic gifts and qualities out in the world. And the advice card, too, from your spirit team, focus on the positive. Again, I was getting a sense that, some of you may have been experiencing a kind of depression, perhaps about having this authenticity a bit dampened by those around you. And, as we know, depression can often find us sort of circling in negative thought patterns. So your spirit team is really encouraging you to focus on the positive. So even, just choosing those small details in your life that are going well. It can be, the smallest thing, like I have, I have a cup of tea in front of me that I really enjoy drinking, or I have, a bed to sleep in at night. All of those the things, focusing on what you positively have serving you in your life at this time. If you really get in those sort of negative thought spirals, feeling gratitude for, whatever you can find that is true in your situation can really help to start lifting us up into higher vibrations. And like I said, the better it gets, here. Pile three, I really see you making strong, gradual improvement, and eventually really like soaring above the skyline here. I think you've got a very big, bright, beautiful future. So do know that things are improving for you. Things are getting better for you, and your spirit team is working with you to heal this. I did also draw for you some Whispering Woods Oracle cards for you, and you got the card Let Go. It says, enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. Let go. Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. So with the Let Go card, I'm hearing, let go of perhaps some, maybe painful experiences you've had um, around expressing yourself, and people who have shown up perhaps in a negative way around your self-expression. As much as you can just let that go, let it be in the past. I certainly don't want to downplay anyone's difficult experience here, but really look where you can start to free yourself from perhaps some painful memories around self-expression. Also, we have the word cleanse coming out for you. Wash your weary spirit clean and take a walk in the wooded glades. Nature could be very healing for you here as you kind of move through this experience. But definitely, a need to cleanse, a need to maybe stay out of your head here with the thinker card. Maybe literally taking a warm bath and imagining sort of, painful thoughts or hurts of the past, like draining out with the bath water. Sometimes that can be a useful kind of almost meditation to do. Spending time in water, cleansing, maybe even a sort of dietary cleanse. All of these things might be very supportive for you now, my pile threes. And then finally, we have the trust card. It says, the robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. And that's really interesting because I think, I was thinking of this going back to perhaps some family patterns. And so, trusting your own inner resources, your own inner soul pattern, your own authenticity, and not perhaps and I'm thinking literally here, branch she sits on as being like family tree, not trusting perhaps your family environment to tell you who you are, but trusting that inner knowledge that you have of who you truly are, how you were meant to express in the world, and how you can be your authentic self, and really developing that trusting relationship with yourself to guide you through life in a positive way. So that is the reading that I have for you, my pile threes. I hope this reading was helpful. I hope it was beneficial to you and your life. If you liked the reading, please feel free to comment down below. This fit for you. Also, please like the video. It helps to spread the video to more people. And I invite you to subscribe to my channel. It helps to support my work here on YouTube. And finally, if you'd like a personal reading with me, I do have a few spots available at the moment, so please check out the link in the description box for book a personal reading. And with that, I wish you a beautiful day full of light, love, and boundless blessings, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you.